the calls and emails and smoke signals. People, where's Dennis? What's going on? But
yeah, I bet.
Fear not, he's back, and he brought friends today.
Yes, Mark Lefebvre, our conservation planning team manager, who will be retiring here very soon by the end of the month. And then the replacement, a very capable Megan Herbst, will be backfilling Mark's position. And I just thought it'd be fun to have the listeners listen to these two extraordinary employees and just get a chance to listen and see what's gonna happen with Mark, where he's going, what he thinks about the job he had here at the Soil Conservation District, and Megan, a little bit about her past.
Sure.
And how she's going to be operating the team that she's going to be managing.
Well, let's start on the left here. Megan, grab the microphone. Is this your first time? Just pull on those two things. There we go. Is this your first time here, or have you been on the air with us before?
This is my first time here.
Well, welcome aboard. But not unbeknownst to KASM Radio, because I'm told there's a sacred artifact in your basement that may or may not get knocked over from time to time with KASM ties.
Yeah, it's not actually in the basement. It's in my son's bedroom. They have a Randy Rothstein bobblehead doll that they got at a Rocks game, and it's like their pride and joy. It's the front and center, right on their dresser. So
if only this is radio, but if only we could see in that office over there the rosy cheeks of someone blushing. There he is walking by, proud as a rooster, walking by as that was a great little side story there. But Megan, how long have you been with SWCD?
I started with the SCD in May of 2011.
Okay.
So almost 14 years now.
From here originally?
I grew up on a dairy farm in Benton County, so just across the river.
Sure. Wrong side of the river, right?
I guess it depends on who you ask.
And just college locally, or did you go to the U, or where'd you go?
I went to school at North Dakota State University,
Okay.
but I graduated from St. Cloud State University. So I went both places, I
Gotcha.
guess, as a transfer student. And I live currently in Benton County, too, so I haven't moved very far away.
And then just always had kind of a passion for soil and water, enjoyed science class in high school, or how'd you get there?
Yeah, I guess growing up on a dairy farm, I knew that I wanted to somehow still be involved in agriculture in some capacity. And there wasn't a lot of ag four-year degrees at St. Cloud State University or really any school in the vicinity, and I was still milking cows. So it was hard to go to a different college that was hours away and then drive home to milk. And I just sort of fell into it, I guess. I knew that I wanted to stay in the ag realm, and I worked previously in Morrison County at their planning and zoning office, but it was very regulatory, and I didn't enjoy regulatory work like most people. I don't think they do, and especially when you're regulating farmers and you grew up on a farm. But then there was an opening at the Conservation District, and I applied, and I've just never left.
When you got there 11 years ago, you started entry level, or did you kind of helping growers and dairy farmers locally with planning for the future?
Yes. Yep.
And since then, you're going to kick Mark out and take over his job?
Yeah, I mean, he's voluntarily leaving. He's retiring.
I don't know. I think
he's off to greener pastures.
I think Megan. Yeah, I heard about the 6 months in Europe, but. When you look at, are you looking forward to taking over that position?
Yes. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. It'll be a good experience, and I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm also excited. So.
When you look at the day-to-day operation, you talked about the regularity and stuff like that. Is it meeting with different growers on a daily basis? Kind of each land, each acreage is different. Is that the allure to you, getting the opportunity to mix it up?
Yeah, I think I like working with farmers on what their goal is. They all have kind of like a conservation goal that they want to see come to fruition, and they all have different ideas and ways to get there, and there's no one size fits all. And yeah, I enjoy that, and I just like working with them and seeing that plan come to life.
Sure.
It starts out very small, or maybe they're hesitant to do something, and then before you know it, they've kind of adopted that practice on the majority of their acres. So it's just fun to watch those things come to life, and then watching the next generation take over, and we're they're voluntarily adopting these conservation practices, so it's something that they have a desire to do,
Sure.
somewhere inside.
Like a local appreciation that said we should do this, not we have to do this.
Exactly. Yeah.
A local grower fearing change, Dennis?
What?
I never. Dennis, talk about Megan a little bit. Gush about her.
Okay.
Okay.
We've got an excellent person leaving, but we are so fortunate to have somebody like Megan backfill Mark's position. She's very capable. She's understands farming and agriculture, and she's got a team of some new folks, and she's capable of training these new folks. Very patient and we are this conservation district is extremely lucky to have folks like Megan. When we want to continue to deliver conservation to our farmers in a way that they feel confident and can trust what's getting told to them and how the conservation plans are coming together, having a person like Megan on your team is what you want. If you were going to win the Super Bowl, you got to have a Megan.
Sure. It's like a good offensive line right there. You're not getting anywhere without a Megan. Well, and if you look at it, too, you got like 13 years, 22 years, 75 years or whatever.
It just looks like that. Don't look at the hair.
The ability Mom. The ability to keep and retain those employees, Dennis, it seems like you guys hold on to the good ones.
Yeah, that's what we try to do. And we have lost some great employees over the years, but there's been some opportunities at other districts and other agencies, and we encourage them to do the best they can for themselves. And we're just fortunate Megan is still in the office and willing to take on the role that Mark has provided here the last few years as the conservation planning team manager. And I just see good things for the district in the future with Megan at the helms.
So with that title, planning team manager, are you planning the plans, or are you still working with growers individually as well, or are you just kind of quarterbacking the show?
I think I'm hoping to still work with landowners on a one-to-one basis and still have some of those contacts, but I think it will be more of working
overseeing.
More oversight and just making sure that the staff has what they need to do their job effectively. And
well, let's find out.
Hopefully, I don't want to give up all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
I do like some of the things that I do currently, and I don't want to give up all of those things. But I do want to say, too, we have lost a lot of employees, but not necessarily just to different offices, but a lot of them have retired from our office. And, I mean, when I first started, even though, it was a while ago, but just from the time that I started until now, we've had, I don't know how many, 5, 6, 7 people that retired after having like 30 years of service at the Conservation District.
Sure.
That's an excellent point, Megan. Thank you.
Well, let's see what your job's going to entail. Mark, tell her what she's going to do. What's other than Thursday mornings monthly talking with me on the radio, you're just twiddling your thumbs all day waiting for Friday at 5, right?
Not quite, usually,
no.
but
No.
yeah. It's going to be a transition like any job, Megan is very dedicated, and she's, dedicated to the farmers that she's working with, especially. And she may have to let some of her tasks go and let somebody else do that, or delegate. I had trouble with that, I think, when I first started.
We just get
as the
into a
manager.
routine, yeah.
Yeah, and to delegate, it's not always easy to, especially if you've been working with a particular farmer or grower for a long time, to sort of pass that on to, a newer employee.
It's almost like you have seed in the game yourself, where
right.
you can't just cut the cord.
Yeah, but I see great things in Megan. I've worked with her for a long time, and on a lot of different projects.
Sure.
And she's going to be very capable, I have no doubt.
But you still had opportunities where you talk with local growers on a consistent basis. It's not completely behind the scenes.
Right. Yep. And to be honest with you, Kirby, that's been the best thing about the job the past 20 years is some of the relationships that I've been able to develop with farmers, landowners, as well as the great staff that we work with as a team to accomplish our goals.
And I just want to mention, Kirby, if there are any landowners out there that are listening right now that really appreciate it working with Mark, we are going to have a gathering for Mark's retirement next week, Thursday, at Mavericks right there in Way Park, and from 4 to 6 p.m. or maybe a little bit later, depending on how the beer goes. But
Dennis, sticking around for a beer? No.
So that'll be February 27th, next week, Thursday at Mavericks. So if you're a listener and you've worked with Mark in the past and would like to meet Megan, hopefully Megan can join us there. I know she's got kids at home that want to tackle that Randy bobblehead. So she's got to make sure Randy's protected. And so anyhow, it'd be great to say hello to Mark and goodbye. And you'll be heading out, leaving the country for a few months, but he'll be back and joining us
Sure.
for adventures down the road here, hopefully.
Well, and Mark, it'll be great to see some local growers one more time, maybe, and bring up some old dirt stories and stuff like that, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that, like I said, that's been the best thing about this job is meeting some of the landowners and farmers in the county and trying to help them. Not always what we try to say is what they agree with, but it's a back and forth. We come up with some ideas, and maybe there's some cost share involved with it or those kinds of things. But yeah, the relationships is what I'm going to miss.
Well, if it was just, hey, do this. Oh, okay, Mark.
Yeah.
That would have been too easy.
Right.
No one would
Yep.
have
Yep. It usually doesn't go that way.
building those
Yeah.
building those relationships and just kind of the problem solving through the years and
Yep.
starting small. Dennis has joked forever about, pick that back acre back there that no one can see tucked away, but with the tree line, neighbors can't make fun of you or anything like that. Start
Exactly.
small and then expand, where all those stories starting little and then getting big and just success throughout the years. It's got to be a lot of fun memories over that time frame.
Yeah, and we're always trying to just continuous improvement is kind of our motto, and sometimes it takes baby steps, to get people to make some change, from what they were used to or from what their dad or did or those kinds of things. It's hard to change when it's traditional.
And beating down those walls, it's what makes those stories fun. We have to take a break. We have more to come with Megan, Mark, and Dennis coming around the corner. They've got Farm Show Talk coming up on the way, as well as other events and happenings coming up. It's on Sara's Partyline on your Thursday, brought to you by Wimmer Opticians and Org. We are back on Partyline, and Partyline brought to you by Wimmer Opticians and Chiropractic Connection. Megan Herbst, we have Mark Lefebvre, and Dennis Fuchs in studio here today. Dennis, day to day, what's been cooking? You guys been busy? Start of the year?
Oh yeah. There's lots of stuff going on. A lot of programs right now with the state are moving forward. We got some new grant funding for soil health practices. With the feds like EQIP and some of the projects funded through the IRA, they're a little bit on hold right now. And Mark and Megan can talk more about that, but. A little frustrating for some of our growers out there.
Sure.
Not getting they had a plan of attack and now they are not attacking, and hopefully we'll get more guidance from the feds soon so that we can get projects moving forward. It's going to be, you said 43 on Monday.
Yeah. Maybe rain. I think it said rain, or there's a rain cloud icon on Monday. That's new. I don't remember that one.
The farmers are going to be looking at their corn planter.
Should I get in there?
Maybe. I wonder if I shouldn't get that greased already.
Just the 4 feet of frost in the ground.
Yeah, right. So, there's a lot of things happening, and we've got some positions we're working on filling. We got a wildlife habitat specialist interviews next week, Monday. We've got a outreach coordinator, Brittany Lensmeyer, went over to the Canyon High SWCD to help them out. So we're going to be back, not backfilling, but filling her position with some good candidates. And we've got my position we're going to be filling later this spring into May.
Who put in the retirement paper first? You or him?
I did.
That a boy. He followed you.
Yeah. So I knew when he was retiring, so I said, I got to get my foot in the door first.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got to get out of there.
Yeah.
And Megan's just sitting there. Yay.
What's happening
They're
here?
both gone.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
finally got rid of both. No, just kidding, of course. Mark, with the Fed, touch a little bit on what Dennis was touching on with the Fed kind of being shut down and putting the clamps on you.
Yeah, so we're a little bit kind of in flux, I guess you could say right now. The EQIP scoring and ranking period typically is right now. So we've been notified on some pre-approved applications, and especially the IRA funded ones. There is kind of climate smart special funding pool.
Yep.
Those have been put on hold. The general EQIP, we're told, are going to move forward, but we're very cautious about letting landowners know if they have been pre-approved, just because of some of the things that are in flux right now from the federal government.
With the pre-approval, is it just not wanting to get too far ahead of your skis here with the feds kind of holding you back, or what's the reservations on your guys' end?
It's more that we don't want to notify somebody and then have to say, "Oh,
Don't.
oops, those funds aren't available anymore," or something like that. So
Sure.
we're
Mark,
going to
I was
be
banking on this to get this ball rolling here. Now you're telling me I can't do it.
So we have not notified very many yet in that, especially that IRA pool.
Sure.
Some of the general EQIP funding, we have notified some that have been pre-approved. So those are moving forward, but the amount of dollars that have been notified so far is not very big.
Is this a wait and see type of deal, or do you have a hard deadline, or where are we at?
Yeah, we have an obligation deadline for getting those contracts signed and things.
Okay.
But that's kind of been, I think, put on hold for a little while till we find out more information.
Megan, have you talked with local growers about any, preconceived notions that this was going to happen and now it's not, or what's their reception?
I'm mostly just kind of trying to move ahead with business as usual.
Sure.
Except for those folks that are in that Inflation Reduction Act fund pool. We haven't really been notifying people. Some of my folks I did notify that they were pre-approved, but that were we're proceeding very cautiously, like Mark said, and that we don't know that they're actually going to turn into contracts because those funds might just evaporate. So none of them have high hopes anyway in that IRA fund pool, but we're still trying to get contract documents signed in those other fund pools to keep things moving forward. But right now that everything is kind of on hold, like Mark said.
Yeah.
But I still just want people to just, continue planning as usual until they hear otherwise,
Yeah.
I guess. Don't purchase anything.
But just be ready. Yeah. Is this have you these uncharted waters, Mark? Have you gone through situations like this before, or is this kind of new hat?
Yeah, I can never remember this type of a situation before. Last year we had probably, I would say, our record far as USDA NRCS funding, EQIP, particularly Environmental Quality Incentive Program, as far a record funding year, but this year it doesn't look like that right now.
Sure.
with some of the things that are going on with the federal government.
Sure.
So and those are all federal funded programs that we're talking about.
And it's such kind of a double-edged sword because it's such a valuable asset to your guys' operation, and then they take it away where it's like, okay, well, thanks for leading us on. So
The one, I guess, bright spot is we do have some state-funded programs coming down the pipe, so I guess that's encouraging, that some of them that Dennis mentioned. So if these Inflation Reduction Act applications don't go through the EQIP process, we do have something that could backfill it. So
Okay.
that might be a nice situation.
And that would be for non-structural projects like crop residue management, nutrient management, cover crops, those types of practices.
Right, and that's primarily what those IRA-funded climate smart practices are.
That's what
very
they were going at.
similar.
Yeah.
Yes, very similar in nature. Yep.
Sure. So recommendation as of now, business as usual, just don't purchase?
Yeah, I would say, we should hear more, I think, within the next month or so, I'm hoping.
Well, you look at what happened this last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
There could be a lot of changes in the next month here. So
if we get some more guidance, whether it's thumbs up or thumbs down on some of these applications, then we can sort of plan for alternative funding maybe if somebody wants to still do some practices. I guess that's what we're anticipating.
sure. Safe to say that that'll be on the tip of everyone's tongue at the farm show for you?
I'm sure we'll get some people visiting about that, especially if they have applications.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
And Fuji, you said you guys will be all week or all 3 days at the farm show?
2
Or
days.
both? 2 days, sorry, yeah. You're gonna
Tuesday,
be there?
Wednesday. Yep, we'll be there. We're going to be sharing a booth with the Benton SWCD. So stop on by. We'll have a lot of information here about some of the programs that are out there. We'll have some displays of some cover crop seeds that staff planted and is sprouting, and it'll remind you of spring. And next week, it'll be 40-plus degrees, so it'll be a great time to be looking at something green other than a tractor.
40 each day at the farm show. So that'll be light jacket weather on your way into the river's edge. So great opportunity to run into people, Dennis, and make sure meeting with the local growers. If anyone has any questions, it's a great time to come find you.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to be working Tuesday morning there or visiting with folks. So if any folks want to swing by and just say hi, I'll be there to Say hi.
Sign autographs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sign autographs, yeah.
Maybe bring a Randy bobblehead and you can sign it or something like that.
And Kirby, when you asked earlier what else is going on at the Stillwater Conservation District, I wanted to let the listeners know also that Matt Bruette has resigned as SWCD supervisor. He took a job out in California as an agronomist. And so we're going to be taking applications until Sunday, March 2nd for anybody that's interested in becoming a SWCD supervisor, and that would be an appointed position for 2 years, and then you'd have to put your name on the ballot to continue. But if you're interested, give me a call at 320-251-7800, extension 3, and you have to live in one of these townships in order to be considered, because the supervisors manage a territory, and that includes these following townships: Farming, Collegeville, Munson, Wakefield, Paynesville, Eden Lake, and Luxembourg. Once again, Farming, Collegeville, Munson, Wakefield, Paynesville, Eden Lake, and Luxembourg. If you live in that area, that was Matt Bruette's territory that he was supervisor for. And we're going to be taking applications until Sunday, March 2nd, so it's coming up quick. And I can get you that application form. We also have information on our website. If you just Google Stearns Conservation District, it'll pop up, and there's more information online.
What does that role kind of entail, Dennis? What's the day-to-day?
So the SWCD, or Stearns Conservation District Supervisor, helps set the policy and direction for staff, including myself, what we should be doing. They approve payments. They visit with our local, state, and federal legislators to make sure that we have the appropriate policies and programs available for our landowners to protect our natural resources, and just help guide the day-to-day activities to make sure that the Stearns Conservation District is the best place on the planet.
I'm looking right at your website, StearnsCountySWCD.net. First thing on there. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Yes, we're definitely trying to get that filled, and it'd be a great opportunity for somebody that is really passionate about protecting our resources here in the county, and would like to make sure that the county commissioners are aware of that, and our state legislators, and then even our federal folks. There's an opportunity to be involved with that.
It says you're also hiring administration. It says we're hiring administrator. Excuse me.
There you go. Yes, that's my position.
Oh. Looking for the next Dennis.
Yes, the next Dennis. So if you know of a next Dennis, get him over to that website.
Now I'm envisioning a world in which there are two of you, and I don't know that that's the world I want to live in.
Oh, I don't think that would be good.
So
one of me is enough.
That's fair. That's fair. Megan, have you been to the farm show before?
Yes, I have.
You excited to run into some folks and talk to local growers?
I am. Yep. I'm going to be there on Wednesday afternoon.
Sure.
So I'll be there from, I think, noon until or 11 until about close. I think it shuts down at 3 o'clock on that second day.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
You talked about you guys are with Benton.
Yes.
Do you guys cross-reference a lot with other SWCDs? Is it, or just kind of sharing a booth, or is there kind of a mutual, same team type of relationship?
I would say so, especially the ones that border Stearns County.
Yeah.
We do collaborate with them quite often on different outreach events. So we had a booth together at the Women in Ag conference. Well, we kind of shared with NRCS, with the local NRCS staff there. And then we have the Irrigators Association meeting today. We're partnering with Sherburne and Benton SWCDs at that event. And then the farm show we're sharing with Benton. And
Nice.
Yeah, so I think we do work with them quite often, and
have the
they're a good
opportunity,
resource.
to lean on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sure there's plenty of cross boundary and county line stuff where you have to worry about that. So
another good example would be our private well testing event that we had last fall out in Bruton. We coordinated with the Pope and Candio High, the Sauk River Watershed District, and the Middle Fork, North Fork Watershed District. So if we're out there doing education and outreach, it is so important, to share information to best manage our natural resources. We need to know what it is that we need to be doing. So sharing this information and having all hands on deck with our partners is important.
Well, Fuji, should we make this guy in the middle blush for a little bit here on his last?
Let's
last
do it.
party
Come
line?
on.
You had talked off the air, and I know he had mentioned the last time he was here was right after when we bowed to him for his one of his many.
He was recognized in San Diego. That was about a year ago as the Hugh Hammett Bennett Conservation Planner of the United States of America, and it's just amazing award. We have had 2 of those winners out of the Stearns Conservation District. Brad Wenz was the other winner, probably about 5 years ago. And it just goes to show how awesome the staff at the Conservation District are, and to recognize them like Mark is so important. And our landowners, I hope you know that having people like this, the chance to work with people like Mark and Megan is just huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you can trust them, and trust is so important.
And when you look back on, 22 years, Mark, and you talk about the trust and stuff like that, that's something you earn. You can't just walk into a guy's kitchen and say, this is what you're doing, and we're changing this right now. You got to kind of build up to it a little bit, and that's what's great about working around here.
Yeah, it is. And, the relationships take a long time to build, It's not the first meeting usually because...
Yeah, they see your truck coming up the driveway, and they say, well, this guy again.
Yeah,
and there might be a swear word between this and guy.
I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
Bingo, yeah.
That usually doesn't go over real well with most Stearns County farmers. So, you build the trust, come up with some ideas, on maybe making some changes for improving our resources. And a lot of times they say, no, you're crazy. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But especially one program that I worked with quite a bit was the Water Quality Certification Program, and where you assess the farm, get a baseline, and if they don't get this certification score of 8.5 on all their fields, you kind of lay it out. Oh, here's what you can do to change. Changes you can make to get certified, right?
Sure.
And I've had numerous people say, "Well, I'm not going to do that." Like
What's
put a filter strip in or
what's
something.
What's in it for me? Yeah.
For example, and they're like, I'm the certification, getting certified isn't worth it, And there's been several times when over a year later, I'll get a phone call from that person, and they'll say, I've been thinking about that. I do want to get certified. What do I need to do? Close some open tile intakes, put in a buffer strip, maybe reduce your tillage as examples, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And they make the change, and that's very rewarding, as a conservation planner, So
is that something you maybe talked to a young Megan about once upon a time, that just because they said no today?
Are you saying I'm not young anymore? That's how I took that.
I'm saying that you were once younger than you are today. Man, she comes right at me
Watch
right
it,
away.
Kirby.
Yeah, I am on thin ice with Megan apparently, but just a quick no could potentially lead to a future yes. That just give them
exactly.
Just
Yep.
Don't
give up.
Yeah, don't get discouraged.
Don't get down on some of those no answers, because I've heard no a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because some of the things that we suggest farmers do for changes, reducing tillage, is really hard for some families, because it's very traditional on some of the practices that get done on the farm, and trying to get dad or grandpa to make the changes.
Not easy.
It's not easy, and we've had past outstanding conservationists come in and explain that situation, and it's very generational. So
Megan, and when he mentions that, just this discouragement, because your first couple times you want to just have that success rate right away. Yay, I did it. Whereas opposed to, this might take some time. Let them kind of think about it a little bit. And is that kind of the way, the lay of the land? Just give them a chance to process?
I think so, yeah. I mean, they're the ones that are making the change. We're just encouraging them, or maybe hopefully giving them the resources to help them make that decision. But they're the ones that have all the skin in the game, because it's their farm.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work for them, and if it's something they're not comfortable with doing, or they don't have the equipment, they're the ones that have to be on board for it. I think we can talk until we're blue in the face about how we think a practice is going to benefit them and their soil.
But if they're not on board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are ultimately going to pay the price one way or the other. So if things don't go as planned, or, we're just there to kind of hopefully push them in the right direction.
Sure.
But want to make sure that the decision is entirely theirs.
Yeah. I always kind of go back, Fuji, like when Chris would talk about how, just whether it be a cover crop or something like that, how everyone right away wants it, instant gratification 2025 America, where it's like, well, can we do a little trial and error here and see if we can cross the finish line together and finally figure it out? Because it's not a one size fits all.
Right, definitely, and like you mentioned earlier, just try it on a smaller field, not right by the road, and a lot of these soil health practices, like if you're reducing tillage and putting cover crops, or even modifying your crop rotation and include more crops like small grains, it takes a while for these soil health improvements to occur. They don't happen overnight. It usually takes 3 to 5 years, and you're going to see increased infiltration. You're going to see better soil health, which is going to see less runoff, and you're going to see improved yields over time. But this doesn't happen, and a lot of folks would like to see that happen sooner. But you got to you got to sustain the effort over a couple of years.
Well, you're essentially redoing, decades worth of damage, for lack of a better term,
right.
trying to eradicate that. So
exactly. Yep.
Well, the time has come. It is it's a farewell. Where are you going in Europe? Everywhere in Europe, or what are you going to do? 6 months?
Yeah, my wife and I are, at a stage in our lives where we can take the opportunity to do some traveling. So yeah, we're going to do 6 months in the UK and then 6 in Europe.
Sure.
Various places in Europe. So,
How long have you ever been there before?
Yeah. Yep.
So
had made a couple trips over there when I was younger.
It was a quick.
And we took the family, when they were like in grade school, 6th grade or something. So 15 years ago, we went with the family. So yeah, we don't have grandkids or anything like that yet. So we're
Get out there,
a little slice of time where we can maybe do this. So we jumped in with both feet.
And it sounds like you're inviting a much bigger kid for a couple weeks.
Yeah, Dennis and his wife are coming over to visit us. We're leaving in April, so we're flying out the end of March.
Sure.
To the UK.
And you actually gave him like the correct address where you're going to be? You're not just kind of rat racing him around?
Right, yeah.
We'll find out.
I guess
I'll report back in May.
Yeah.
It will be an adventure, I will guarantee you.
And maybe a beer with Dennis.
Just a
maybe.
few pubs, maybe.
Just maybe.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, congratulations on your retirement. Fuji?
Just want to mention, again, we're going to be celebrating Mark's retirement at Mavericks next week, Thursday. And that's the 27th. And Mavericks is right there by the Park Event Center, the bar right there between the hotels. And you get there about 4 o'clock, you'll see us there, and it'll be a great opportunity. And then I also just want to put a plug in for Pheasants Forever Banquet. It's coming up on March 8th at the same place, the Park Event Center. Just Google Stearns Pheasants Forever, and you can get tickets online. And we also will be recognizing our outstanding conservationists, Meadowbrook Dairy, and we're going to be inviting those folks.
Our March party line, they're going to be here,
March 20th on the party line. We're going to try to have Alex and Chrissy Uterman online with us here with Kirby, and it'll be a great opportunity to hear what they've been doing on their farm.
Exciting stuff. Megan, nice meeting you. Enjoy the farm show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. Mark, again, congratulations, and enjoy Europe, okay?
Thanks, Kirby.
You bet. Dennis, always a pleasure.
Thanks, Kirby.
There we go. Hey, did you stay up for the Gophers on Tuesday?
I actually I had a little wake up time. I had I was looking at my phone.
They're still on?
They're still on,
Yeah.
And then I watched the end of the game on my phone. It's like, yes, the Gopher basketball team's going all the way.
Oh, I don't know about that, but that was a nice win.
Yeah,
that was a nice win.
They've surprised us.
Turned it around. Yeah,
a couple times this year.
That 18th out of 18 in the Big Ten early season ranking, they've usurped that already.
Yeah.
So, only one way to go.
That was tough.
That was tough. Dennis, Mark, Megan, have a good day, okay? That is on Sarah's Party Line here on your